What happened to Robin Trower?
Born on March 9th, 1945 in Catford, England, Trower spent the early 60s playing guitar in various London-based outfits, the most successful being the R&B group The Paramounts, who specialized mostly in covers but managed to issue several singles between 1963 and 1965. It wasn't until 1967 that Trower received his big break, however, when he joined Procol Harum. The group had just scored a worldwide smash hit with A Wider Shade of Pale, but the only problem was that the band's leader, singer-slash-pianist Gary Brooker, didn't have a proper group to back him. Brooker was previously a bandmate in the band The Paramounts and offered the guitar slot in his new fast-rising project to his old friend. As a result, Trower appeared in such Procol Harum classics such as 1967's Procol Harum, 1968's Shine On Brightly, 1969's A Salty Dog, 1970's Home, which spawned the popular Trower tune Whiskey Train, and 1971's Broken Barricades. While Procol Harum helped launch Trower's career, he realized there was limited space for his guitar work. He watched Jimi Hendrix perform one of his last live gigs, a September 4th, 1970 festival date in Berlin that Procol Harum had played as well. Shortly after, as Procol was sharing a bill with Jethro Tull, Trower picked up guitarist Martin Barr's Fender Stratocaster that he used exclusively for playing slide. Reportedly, after playing it for a couple of minutes, Trower exclaimed, "This is it!" He ditched the Les Paul for a Stratocaster, a Marshall stack, and various Jimi Hendrix X effects with the Univibe, Fuzzface, and wah-wah pedal. Beyond gear, Trower's musical path revealed a deeper harmonic dimension that couldn't be chalked up to mere idol worship. He left Procol Harum peacefully after 1971's Broken Barricades for a solo career, enlisting singer-slash-bassist James Dewar and drummer Reg Isidore, who was eventually replaced by Bill Lorden as a rhythm section. Trower issued his solo debut twice removed from Yesterday in 1973. Produced by Procol Harum organ player Matthew Fisher, the album barely made a dent in the US charts, but that would change soon with 1974's Bridge of Sighs. With rock fans still reeling from Hendrix's death a few years earlier, the album sounded eerily similar to the late guitarist, especially his 1968 release Electric Ladyland. While critics dismissed it as the work of an imitator, music fans bought it in droves and radio couldn't get enough. The album skyrocketed into the US top 10 on the Billboard 200, peaking at number 7. It was certified gold in America, however, British audiences paid little to no attention. Although Bridge of Sighs, also produced by Fisher, was his most popular solo release, Trower's star continued to rise throughout the mid-70s as he became an arena headliner on the strength of his 5 consecutive gold-certified albums, including 1975's For Earth Below, 1976's Robin Trower Live, Long Misty Days, and 1977's Soul-Oriented and City Dreams. The latter subtly drew on another of Trower's big influences, James Brown. By the dawn of the 1980s, Trower's chart success was waning. Each album sold less than its predecessor. In 1981, he and drummer Bill Lorden teamed with former Cream bassist Jack Bruce as BLT and issued a self-titled set produced by the guitarist with lyrics by Procol Harum's Keith Reid. It landed inside the top 40. In 1982, Bruce and Trower teamed up with drummer Reg Isidore for Truce, which only went to number 109 on the Billboard 200. 1983 saw the release of Back It Up, the guitarist's final release for Chrysalis that barely cracked the Billboard 200. Trower made efforts to expand his audience with releases that updated his blues rock style, including 1987's slickly produced Passion, which placed inside the top 100 and a pair of LPs for Atlantic, 1988's Take What You Need, which reached number 131, and 1990's non-charting In the Line of Fire. Trower returned to Procol Harum briefly for the reunion outing Prodigal Stranger in 1991, before backing ex-Roxy Music singer Brian Ferry on 1993's Taxi and 1994's Mom Mau Now. Tired of the music industry merry-go-round, he formed the V12 label for his releases, kicking off with 1994's acclaimed 20th Century Blues, his first album with bassist and vocalist Livingston Brown, though he didn't join the band. In 1996, King Crimson guitarist Robert Fripp stated in an interview on Procol Harum's website that he considered Trower not only a peer and stylist, but an influence. Fripp admitted to taking lessons from him. Trower's final studio album of the 20th century was Someday Blues, which featured the return of Isidore on drums. Trower continued to issue solo albums at the dawn of the 21st century. Go My Way appeared in 2000 to excellent reviews but paltry sales. In 2002, Trower returned to work with Ferry once more on 2002's Frantic, again earning a production credit. The guitarist toured almost incessantly during the early 2000s. Reassembling most of his late 80s band, Trower released Living Out of Time in 2004 and returned with Another Day's Blues in late 2005. And after a 25-year break, Bruce and Trower re-teamed alongside ex-Level 42 drummer Gary Husband on 7 Moons, followed by the audio-video release 7 Moons Live that marked Trower's return to the charts, with it peaking at number 5 on the Blues Albums chart in the US. The more progressively oriented What Lies Beneath appeared in 2009. With Brown on bass, the set featured alternating drummers Chris Taggart and Sam Van Essen, organist Roger Cotton, and string players Claire Hinton and Andrew Havrin. Over the next several years, Trower recorded steadily, starting with The Playful Heart in 2010, with Brown vocalist Davey Pattison and drummer Pete Thompson. EMI released 2 multi-disc compilations in 2010, Tale Untold: The Chrysalis Years from 1973 to 1976, and farther on up the road, The Chrysalis Years 1977 to 1983, and the following year, At the BBC 1973 to 1975. 2013 saw the release of another Chrysalis-era double disc in State to State Live Across America in 1974 and 1980. That same year, however, Trower issued the widely celebrated studio covers album Roots and Branches on V12, and it went to number 4 on the blues charts. He followed with the scorching blues set Something's About to Change in 2015. In addition to playing guitar, Trower played bass. Brown produced the set while Taggart played drums. Former bassist Richard Watts joined, with Luke Smith on keyboards. The set peaked at number 2 on the Blues Albums chart. That same year, Repertoire released Rock Goes to College, while Germany's Rough Records released the retrospective Songs from the Road from dates with Bruce and Husband. It peaked at number 5 on the charts. 2016's Where You Are Going To went to number 4 on the blues charts. Trower's prolific blues chart run continued in 2017 with Time and Emotion, with it debuting at number 2 and spending 3 months on the chart. 2019's Coming Closer to the Day was the first to top the blues chart. In 2020, Trower and Brown teamed with soulful reggae singer Maxi Priest for the more R&B oriented United States of Mind. Brown played bass and keyboards, and Taggart remained on the drums. Trower also booked a horn section and a string quartet. Acclaimed globally, it continued the guitarist's chart run by peaking at number 3 in blues. In 2021, Trower issued No More Worlds to Conquer through Provogue. The 12-track set of originals featured Watts on bass and vocals and Taggart on drums. And in 2023, he teamed up with powerhouse vocalist Sari Shore on The Smoldering Joyful Sky. And that's what happened to Robin Trower. Thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Give me some facts about Robin that I failed to mention in this video, and let me know who I should do next on the channel. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next video.